Hey everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel God Would Do It For You. My name is Steven. I hope everyone's having a great day so far. Yeah, I definitely don't post on Thursdays, but yesterday was a bad snow day and my son wasn't feeling well, so I had to make sure I took care of him. But definitely getting right back to it today. And what we're going to be talking about is don't panic. Don't panic. And the reason why this is the particular topic is because with current life circumstances for a lot of people, not all people, but for a lot of people, they're in a pickle. You know, the economy is the way it is. You know, we're doing all we can. We have time constraints. We have limits to our physical selves. And we're like, man, it's just not enough to really get us out this rut or get us out this financial situation, or, hey, these places, it's just getting ridiculous and out of hand. And sometimes we just have to realize that, you know what, we are panicking. And when we panic, we are basically saying, God, we don't feel like you are big enough to handle this situation. And so we're going to go to the Bible. We're going to go to Matthew chapter 14. I'm going to read verse 28 all the way down to verse 33. And it starts and says, and we're talking about Jesus walking on the water. So, and Peter answered to him, Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water. And he said, come. So Peter got out of the boat and walked on the water and came to Jesus. But when he saw the wind, he was afraid and began to sink, and he cried out, Lord, save me. Jesus immediately reached out his hand and took hold of him, saying to him, O you of little faith, why did you doubt? And when they got onto the boat, the wind ceased, and those in the boat worshipped him, saying, truly, you are the Son of God. So we're going to unpack this because significant things happened in here. So one, Peter had the faith to say, you know what? Call me out here and I will walk out there. So it's almost like the same thing for our callings, for our lives. You know, when we have a calling, we get excited. We get the mojo going. We're on fire for God. So we go at it full speed. But then, as it states, he was walking to Jesus, but then he saw, you know, the wind began to get, you know, it began to get a little shaky. So he said, as soon as he saw the wind, he was afraid. So it's almost like as soon as we start to see life circumstances coming, you know, opposition coming against us, we start to get afraid and we start to question, like, man, you know, God, you got us out here like this. I only came because I trusted you. And now I'm walking in faith. Why am I experiencing what I'm experiencing? But the interesting thing, though, is when he called out to Jesus, Lord, save me, Jesus immediately reached out his hand and took hold of him. So that means that when he called out to Jesus, he was in such close proximity to Jesus that all Jesus had to do was bend down and grab him. So he was close. And how many times have we realized in life that we could be close to something and we panic towards the end when we don't realize how close we are to our breakthrough? And that's why he says, and when they got onto the boat, the wind ceased. So that means that they weren't too far from the boat, and he wasn't too far from Jesus. And so the reason why I prayed and this particular message really resonated in my heart is because the South, which I live in the South, all of the South just got rare snow. And if anybody lives in the South, you would then know that there is no snow removal equipment. There is nothing to prepare a city for snow. So what happens is if they get catch wind of snow or get any news saying there's going to be snow, literally the whole city shuts down. So now businesses, schools shut, daycare shut. People are losing hundreds of dollars. Businesses are losing thousands of dollars. People are hurting because of the lack of preparedness with the city. Again, it's nothing that we can control, but it's something that we're just like, you know, we're suffering now because of this, because of the lack of preparedness of the world. Again, that's why you never put your hope and faith in the world, but because of the lack of preparedness, we are suffering as a result. And so for me in particular, I'll bring this home, I'm losing hundreds of dollars because there was no provision yesterday. The day before, there was only a little bit of provision. Like, when I say a little bit, I mean a little bit. Like $40, $50 a little bit. Today, no provision again. And then they're saying tomorrow the city's going to be delayed opening for 2 hours. If I point this camera at the ground, you'll see nothing but concrete. I've driven around the city. The roads are clear. I'm just kind of curious why the city is still shut down. They're like, well, other parts might still have some ice on the ground. And so again, because there's no snow removal equipment, there's no salt, there's no nothing, everybody's just stuck. So now I'm like, God, it reminds me of Will Smith on The Pursuit of Happiness, if you've seen that. He finally got into a place before he had success with the internship, but he finally got to a place with his son where he was like, hey, you know what? We finally got some money in our account. We're good. All of a sudden, and then he got that letter in the mail saying, hey, this is past due and we're able to garnish this from your account. And for me, I'm just like, I'm on the pursuit of happiness. I'm a single full-time father. I'm just trying to make it, God. And lo and behold, I can't make any money because of weather. So now I'm losing hundreds of dollars, which is actually hurting me. I'm not wealthy yet. So it is hurting me bad. And I'm like, God, I'm literally trying. I'm putting my faith, this is getting old. It gets old because I get tired of seeing people do the bare minimum and they're making, they're doing really well. And I see it. So it's one thing to compare. It's another thing for me to just turn left and turn right. And I'm like, I see people literally capitalizing off of situations like this. I see people that are thriving when the city is unprepared. I see people that are just thriving just to thrive. And I'm like, man, God, I am tired. I'm getting close to my limit with all that I can do. I am doing literally everything. I feel like a robot. And even then, I feel like, the gas is running out. I'm like, it's just getting ridiculous. And then I'm like, every time I try to just get to a place where I'm like, hey, we don't have to worry about money. I can swipe my debit card and get some food and not have to worry. Something happens and puts me right back to square one. And so I'm like, here we are again, God. I'm trying not to panic. And this morning when I was in prayer, I just broke down and I just started crying. And I was like, I am tired of this. What do you want me to do? I've been working on my talents. I am prepared. Even people have told me, they're like, man, you have put in the work. They're like, you trust me, the floodgates. I'm like, I need to see it. And this is where the don't panic comes in, because I chose to do this walk because I had faith that God is the one that instructed me to do it. And so every time life has happened to where the money be in my account, then something happens, then here we go back to square one. It's like the third time. I'm like, you know what? I've learned that God knows how to turn things around. I've learned that. I've also seen it and I've also experienced it. 2, I've also learned that it's easy to panic when things aren't going the way that you expect it to go. So here I am. I've put in a good bit of money to get into this business group. Nothing's happened yet. I put in a bunch of money into music. Nothing's happened yet. I put in a lot of money to get the food business legalized. I put in a lot of time, effort, learning exactly what I'm doing. It's to the point now where I'm just like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I am literally trying, because it's to the point now where if I fail, hey, I'm starting not to care, because I'm like, hey, I can live with myself if I am giving 100,000% to everything that I'm doing. Because at that point, I'm like, you know what, God, if you want me to fail, then that's what's going to happen, because there's nothing that I can do at this point. There's nothing I can do. The city is literally shut down. Walmart's even closed. The city is shut down. This is where, oh, you of little faith, why did you doubt? For me, it will be, why do you doubt? And this is where we have to correct ourselves, because, and when they got to the boat, the wind ceased. So meaning when He got to the other side. When he got back to solid ground, all of life around ceased to be important. It got less chaotic. And for me, that's where I had to just say, you know what, God, when I was in prayer this morning, I was like, I'm crying out to you. I'm fervently praying. I'm doing everything that I think I know to do. At this point, I just give this all to you. And I just leave it to you, because your word says that your plans are to prosper us, not to cause harm. You want us to live. You all know what the word says. You know, I can repeat it over and over and over. And this is me giving you the real vulnerable state of why I do these videos, because I'll be doing good in one season, and then now all of a sudden some snow has cost me hundreds of dollars. Hundreds. When I'm talking about, I mean 200, we're talking about more than that. And so I'm just like, here we go. And this is where the faith comes in. Not thinking that this situation is bigger than God. Not thinking that your circumstances are bigger than God. Not believing that God can turn things around at the snap of a finger, because you guys seen on other videos that I've made at how I owed almost $5,000 to a cellular company, and God turned it around in one day. And one day they were like, hey, we're going to clear this up. Not only are we going to clear it up, we're going to take care of what you owed on it as well. Not only did they do that, they gave me the amount that I owed them as a credit on the line. So it was a double for your trouble. It was like a Job situation. That just happened last year, in between August and September. So I know what God can do. And so this is why I had to remind myself, do not panic. Don't panic. God is testing you. For some reason, he finds whatever he finds and testing us over and over and over. And I'm just like, God, there's nothing that you could do that's going to stop me from opening this Bible. But just know that my mental state in these trials and tribulations, it gets to a point where my heart is just like, what more do you want? I am giving it everything that I got. I am doing this channel relentlessly, no matter the view count. I am doing everything that I know to do. And that is why you should not panic. Because when faith without works is dead. When you are doing the work, that's where God comes in, and he does what he does supernaturally. Supernaturally. When you do what you're supposed to do, when you've exhausted all your methods, that is when God steps in and says, hey, I know you're at the end of yourself, but I'm just beginning. And he turns it around. He turns it around. So if you are in a situation, no matter what it is, it could be health, it could be financial, it could be relationship, whatever the case may be, and the anxiety is starting to creep in, you are starting to panic, you're like, I don't know what to do. Remember this in the Bible. That how at first Peter was walking, he was, hey, you know what, all you got to do is call me, I'm going to do it. I can do it. But then when he started to experience the wind, he got scared because it was out of his control. He didn't feel like Jesus was able to rectify situations. That's why he got scared. But he was already walking on waters. He was already doing something supernatural. So it's the same thing. If we're already walking in faith and we've experienced things, we've seen him turn things around, or there's testimonies all around you, just know that he will do it for you. He will turn it around. Your situation is not too big for God. And most importantly, we have to keep the faith. We have to keep the faith. So I hope this video's been a blessing. If you feel led to like, share, subscribe, definitely do so. I look forward to telling y'all how God turns us all around, because I'm even, I'm curious as well. I'm like, yeah, there's definitely more month than money right now. So I'm looking forward to seeing how God's going to turn this around, because I have faith and confidence that he will. I've seen him do it more than once in my life. I've seen it do it in others' lives. I've just seen him do miraculous things for people that don't even ask for it. And so I just want to make sure I'm on the right end of the page to receive whatever God wants to do for me as well, because Jesus, I just want to live. I just want to live. I just want to live. And man, it would really be a great experience if I could live and not have to worry about finances. I'm pretty sure all y'all be like, hey, trust me, we agree. We agree. But I also know some people will be like, but, you know, money, don't even go in there. Yeah, don't go there. Because the whole purpose of this message is, sometimes we do get sick and tired. Sometimes we see people that don't even care about God, and there's miraculous things happening, but God blesses the just and the unjust. So this is why I love the God that we serve, is because he doesn't discriminate. Even if they don't care about him, he'll still look out for them. And that's why I know that God's going to look out for me as well. So I hope this video has been a blessing. If you feel led to like, share, subscribe, definitely do so. Leave a comment if you choose to do so. Whatever y'all choose to do. But otherwise, keep the faith and have a good day. Until next time, y'all.